All right, comments made there by the Gauteng Premier Panyaza Lesufi at the Gauteng Presidential Imbizo. To join me to discuss what's been discussed, I'm joined by political editor Mzwandile Mbeje. Thank you very much, Mzwa, for joining us.
Thank you very much.
So the Gauteng Premier just giving an outline to the President of what some of the issues are in Gauteng, unemployment being a key one, talking about crime, how that needs to be resolved, talking about economic enhancement. So a lot of issues there which are very key. Of course, Gauteng is a pivotal province when it comes to the economic power that it has in the country. What are some of your takeaways from what the Premier had to say?
Well, obviously, Nombo, there is nothing new from what the Premier has said. And I think even off camera, you and I were, as we were listening to the Premier, we were saying, I mean, only if they could follow this with real action, because the problems are really known. We know we have the problem of crime. So what is it that we are doing? Yes, there are measures that they are putting in place, but are they enforceable enough to make a difference? Because at the end of the day, so I should be able to say crime has reduced because I'm able to walk at night without worrying about anything. If then the feeling is still the same. So it means some of those measures may need to be re-looked.
Yeah, they talk about things like installing CCTV, closed-circuit television, but now people are so brazen that they can actually go and steal those CCTVs.
Exactly, and also, and you see some of the lights that are not working, let's say, because crime is committed mainly at night, and then you have those CCTVs, and where they are supposed to be street lights, they are not there. So what's the point? So you ought to be able to then, when you do one, and be able to complement it with the other. Otherwise, we'll keep talking about these things. Yes, we know about it. Yes, we have the government of national unity. Perhaps the impetus would be a bit more different because you now have different strands of voices from different parties. But the fact of the matter is that some of the things that the Premier of Gauteng is speaking about are very, very valid. So do something about it. Yes, you are saying you are going to do something about it. Let it be translatable into visible action. I think that's what South Africans would want to see. I mean, he's speaking about expanding the airport and creating a new cargo. That is very welcome news.
Yes.
I mean, 15,000 jobs, that will make a huge difference. And then even the issue of gold and diamond. So I guess if that happens, will really be welcome news, because we don't want to always receive the finished product. So, and then it's actually significant, Nombo, because this is the first presidential imbizo under this new arrangement of the government of national unity. So let's see if there'll be anything different, because we've had this before, and perhaps perhaps there'll be something that will be different. But yeah, the jury's still out. Yeah.
Do you think, I mean, coming back to the point that you made earlier, do you think under the new GNU, because, you know, a lot of people have said that we should see more effectiveness in terms of, you know, implementation of ideas. Do you think that that's going to come through? Because obviously it's still a wait and see.
Oh, obviously, I think it will depend on the political will of this government, and I don't think there'll be lack of it. Otherwise, so what will they be saying to the entire political system? Because there are a number of parties that are there, so which had totally different views from the former alone governing party, which was the ANC. So now they are part of that governing, they are part of governing parties themselves. So what sort of impetus? And even the ANC itself, it wouldn't want to lose even more ground. Yes, it acknowledged that things were done wrong. So if then you want to reclaim the lost ground, you have to do things differently. Yes. Because voters have told you that if you continue in this trajectory, so we are losing hope in you. So clearly, at some point, something will have to give. And guess what? We are not going to wait for another 5 years, because local government is around the corner in 2026. And so, interestingly, South Africans don't necessarily differentiate between local issues and national issues. Yeah. So as long as you are government, you are in power, they expect you to deliver. It doesn't matter whether you're going to say the street lights is the responsibility of the municipality. So they would ask the president, why is my street lights not working?
Absolutely.
So then this program, which get the national, provincial and the district to work together, let it work, because it is aimed at doing exactly that.
Yeah, but you talk about the local municipalities, which are crucial, like you say, because ultimately the electorate, normal South Africans, they care about what happens at their doorstep.
Exactly.
And hence, like you say, they don't make a distinction between local and national. So, but when we look at what's happening in let's look at the city of Joburg, for example.
Yep.
We heard earlier about the Lillian Ngoyi Street, you know, that experienced that massive explosion, how a tender was given to somebody who already was dodgy. You know, why are local municipalities not serious about such things? It was a massive emergency, and you know, so much infrastructure was destroyed, and it's a very key route for many people to use. But there's been no urgency in getting that fixed, and there's corrupt activity even with a tender like that.
Even as we sit here and speak today, there's no decision about what's going to happen there. Yesterday, Nombo, we had an interview with the newly elected mayor of Johannesburg. We asked him exactly about that road. So what's going to happen? And then he basically said, you know what, my personal view, his view, but he said he's going to canvass it with the colleagues. Maybe we should not repair it. We should turn it into a park. So already, I mean, a year later, there is no decision. So there was some sort of a decision, but it was not followed through. And then clearly there could be another decision. So the test of this government of national unity, government of local unity and provincial unity is to then check, are these things allowed to continue the way they were? Because this thing is supposed to have been sorted out long ago. It's not. Even now, when we spoke to the mayor was like, okay, I'm still going to engage my colleagues. Personally, that's what he said. So I feel perhaps we should change it into a park because it's looking ahead. And then the question that you've just posed again, what about the one that was awarded the contract and did nothing about it? So why do we still have that? So this government of local unity at that sphere, so informed by provincial unity and national unity, will have to be able to come with answers on matters of this nature. Because if we are not able to deal with something that is simple, that is in front of everyone, I mean, the road was damaged. South Africans expect that road to be repaired. So you can't get it repaired. So you are going to have South Africans lose total trust in the political system of our country.
Yes.
So clearly, the test for this GNU is service delivery and nothing else.
Absolutely, absolutely right. And like you say, in 2 years' time, those elections are happening. If we continue on this trajectory and the GNU government is not able to ensure that it's able to keep tabs on what's happening at the local level, what then happens politically? Number one, you've mentioned, of course, that people are going to be completely dissatisfied and even just lose faith in voting. So we could see a lower voter turnout. But then for those who do vote, what would they vote for?
That is a very interesting aspect. I mean, you have some of the major parties that have not formed part of this GNU. And they've been complaining. They've been saying this is not going to work. So you are basically saying if you are part of the GNU, if you are ANC, IFP, DAPA, and other parties, you are part of the GNU, everyone knows that. So you are still not, if you are not able to then discharge your responsibilities, give service delivery. So parties like MK, EFF, and some others that are outside will have a legitimate claim to say, we told you so. We have always said those ones were just pursuing their agenda. Here we are. We have a chance. The failure of the GNU will give huge impetus to those that are outside. You may see things start to swing.
Indeed. My colleague there, Mzwandile Mbeje, the political editor here at the SABC, speaking to us on the screen there. Well, just before you came to me, we had the local residents actually expressing their views around the challenges that they're faced with in their communities at that Presidential Imbizo taking place in Ekurhuleni.